Well, it's 10 o'clock. We'll call the Sawyer County Administrative Committee meeting to order. Ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Ron Kinsley,
Here.
Ron Buckholz,
Present.
Tom Duffy, John Righeimer is excused. Stacy Hessel. Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Number 4, certification compliance open meeting laws.
This meeting was noticed to the media and the public as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Thank you. Number 5 is the meeting agenda. Number 6, public comment. Ms. Linda Zomer.
Linda Zilmer, Edgewater property owner, and somebody who has watched the county go from having the shared administrative coordinator position to through 2 county administrators, and now the search going on for a 3rd one. I'm happy to have heard that in addition to looking at the qualifications and backgrounds of candidates, that there will be an emotional or quotient or an EQ test. But there's something almost that combines the intelligence with the emotional, and it's called a thinking quotient. And I think Mr. Markren demonstrated it in the previous meeting when he reported to you at the end of a meeting about how he took information and something he learned at a conference and then applied what he saw there to Sawyer County. It's beyond just looking at the duties of the job. And so to expand upon that, right now, I think it's very critical for a candidate to be able to come in, to work well with people, to encourage people to do their best, but also if people are not performing to expectations, what can the county do to either get them up to speed or to deal with if they don't. The rebuilding the relationships with the towns, I think, is important. I think over the last couple of years, whether it's the zoning issues or the road route issues, and some of this is outside influence, I think, from outside counsel, kind of building the wall between the county and towns, and I would hope that would get bridged. And then also someone who is familiar with Wisconsin state statutes and county government. And so my final item to wrap up, kind of illustrating what I hope the county finds in an administrator, and I would hope that it would expand to perspectives of other county supervisors, not just this committee, is this example of the county is embarking on their 10-year update of the Land and Water Resource Management Plan. And by state statute, that requires a public hearing, but also involved in the process is meeting of a lot of different, if you want to call them stakeholders that have a knowledge of different parts of that plan. And so I would hope that an administrator would look at that process and the state requirement and have those meetings be open and published meetings. Again, it's rebuilding the relationship with the public, rebuilding the relationship with the towns. And so again, hopefully beyond the administrator mind frame for how serving county government, beyond this meeting, this committee can deal with how this Land and Water Resource Management Plan update will be conducted and whether those meetings should be noticed. Thank you.
Thank you. Nobody online. Number 7, consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Duffy, second by Ms. Hessel to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 8, county clerk report.
So we had kind of a slowdown in dog licenses and marriage licenses. Plat books are selling. We've sold 2 $50 maps. Those big maps, there are 3 left for sale if someone wants out those. I did send out the invoices to all the towns in the school districts for the 2 spring elections and the upcoming year 2025 MOU with the towns that are reliers. The total I billed was $31,632, and about $3,600 of that is net. One thing that I did is I updated the MOUs to make them current. Some people had old ones going back 5 or 6 years, and the terms have changed. I changed the effective dates to May. The March date was strange because that falls between 2 elections. So I moved them up to May, and then I raised all of the fees by a quarter, so just slightly higher to keep up with inflation, and my salary is different for my time than Lynn's was. And I am encouraging them to get the training in WisVote to do their own elections. For some towns, it's really a huge expense to the town. So I offered to refund their MOU contract fee if they get the training and become their own providers this year, because there are actually no elections left this year. And so they have to pay us the contract fee just by the terms of the MOU, but I'm not providing much service. So I'm hoping that that's enough of a carrot to get at least a couple of those big towns like Glen Root and Round Lake, because they have thousands of voters. The small towns, I'll keep helping if they need it. So that's where that is. Next request has been steady. It's still all the sheriff's department requests mostly. Desiree continues to handle that. We've had some interesting records requests recently. IT's been helping with those. And Andy had some that were getting wrapped up when he left that were big ones. I think that we're okay there. And then I mailed out the fee schedule and Department of Justice guide to all the department heads here for records requests, just in case they needed a reminder of what to consult when they get a records request. So that's my report. Do you have any questions?
You said you increased the fees?
Yeah, by a quarter. So they were paying $1.25 per voter for the services that I provide, and I made them $1.50. So, and then the MOU was $1.50 and I made it $1.75. So in a town that has 80 voters, it's not a big difference, but in some of the towns where there's 1,500 or 2,000 voters, it's a big difference. But the relier relationship was supposed to be temporary until the people got the training or were able to stand on their own. And that turned into a permanent thing. So now right now I have 15 out of the 21 towns. So it's a lot of hours to go through each town's voter list constantly and address all of the stuff. So I throughout the year, even when there's no election, you still have to reconcile flagged people where like the DMV will say one number is wrong on their driver's license that was entered in WisVote, or an apostrophe in an Irish name or something like that. And it'll say, are these two the same people? And you have to do all this work to merge the accounts. Otherwise, you get those voter rolls where they say that they're wrong voters or dead voters are on the voter rolls. So that's something I do weekly as I clean through those. But the provider towns do their own. So it'd be nice to have more people taking care of their own.
Thank you. Now you were gonna have training sometime?
Yeah, the clerks indicated they'd like to do it this summer. They wanted a break, so that we're looking at July or August to do that. We'll just get together and brainstorm what they want to do going forward.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Number 9, Veteran Service Report. They're out at this time. So we'll move to number 10, Information Technology. Wilson?
Morning.
Oh, yeah. We'll catch Mike and we'll go back to that. Thank you.
Okay, for my IT report, we finished up the digital signage project. So we've got about 4 displays throughout the courthouse now. They're all up and running. I've been helping the public health and the zoning department with the new tourist rooming house licensing reports and modifying the land record system. So that's there's still a few enhancements that have come in, so still working on that. And web form automating where people can pay, apply for permits online and pay online. So we're still rolling some of those out. The next one will be fire number applications. It's next in the queue, as well as the TRH license itself. We'll try to get those online. Those are the big projects. That's my report unless there's any questions.
TV out in the lobby. That's got signs on, or last night it was just static.
Oh, they display information during business hours. That's the way they're set right now from 8 to 4. We can extend those hours, but we kind of put it in screensaver mode after 4.
Thank you. Thanks for what you do. All right. Number 11. Oh, we're gonna go back. Let's go back to Veterans Memorial Update, ideas to move forward. Where should we start?
So as Gary and I presented, I believe it was last month or the month before, I can't recall, that survey, he did a survey with the veterans that he has in his database. And based on that information, the general consensus was to do it at a destination in Hayward, so it'd be more visible. And then one of the questions was, do you want a quiet place or do you want something more visible? And that was pretty neutral. There was not one side or the other determined, where the Hayward destination was very prominent. So then I met with since it was determined that Hayward would be the location, I met with the American Legion Post 218 and got some ideas from them. And they're interested in more of a tribute area, because the city of Hayward is now reconfiguring and trying to make Shoes Pond more of a recreational spot instead of, so that's not an option to do a memorial there like we thought. So we just ran through some ideas and they did not have any locations to present. So what I guess I would propose if we're moving forward with this idea and we did approve that funding last year, is to revisit that site that we originally had presented, or I originally had presented, because it's a non-conforming site otherwise, and have it more of a tribute. So it would, have something on there thanking the Sawyer County veterans, and it would not cost as much. And giving that room to Mr. Markren, if he's acting as the administrator right now, to see if we can get that cost down from what was presented earlier. Now they've had 6 months to pay on that loan, plus maybe it would be an easier, less expensive sell. So I guess what I'm looking for is to see if we can revisit that original location on the corner of Kansas and 63. And then if we can get it at a lower cost, if that's something that we can present at next month's meeting. So that was the favorable spot based just on the people that were at the American Legion meeting. It was one of their regular monthly meetings. And so there was probably about 20 people there only, to be honest. But and then at the coffee and conversations, that's been the conversation is more of a tribute and thanking Sawyer County instead of a garden or anything maintenance wise. So low maintenance, high visibility, a tribute thanking Sawyer County veterans. But I didn't know what the process would be to see if we could get that location for less of a cost and represent that location, because the Legion thought it would be ideal since they just weren't understanding the process, and rightly so. I went too fast, and I'll take full blame for that. But I thought there was road construction going to happen this year. Now the city has moved it to next year. So if that's a possibility, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but I would love for Mr. Markren to use his negotiating skills and try to get us a less expensive lot that would be highly visible.
It's the rest of the committee thing. I think it's a good idea.
Well, yeah, if we could get it at a lower cost, it's been for sale, or has it been for sale for a long time, or it's not
For years, but it's not been with a realtor. It's not been with a realtor. It's been sold privately. He had it with a realtor at one point.
I
But
was
he-
just wondering, maybe, make them an offer if they would be willing to accept that. I guess that would be, the price would be one of my suggestions that we do. I agree with that part of it. But I like to see us do something for our veterans. Yeah, I guess we can take another look at it, that location. So, yeah.
But we still had the concern about the size of one. The price is one part of it, but what purpose do we want it for? Can we get a bigger place where you can do more things?
So that's,
Have we exhausted things, for example, on the offer
Tom,
that
turn your
John
light
Hayward
on.
made?
Turn your light on, Tom.
Yeah.
you don't have your,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
So if you want to move it forward, I guess that's one thing, but
well, the town
I
of
don't want to
Hayward,
commit to buy that lot, because I think the lot still has problems. I mean, what's the purpose of this purchase? Just to have a visibility, or is it to have some function where they can have picnics or parties or something?
well, and that's what the survey presented. I don't know if you heard me say that, but that's what the survey presented was that they were looking for something highly visible. So in the town of Hayward, that was, I don't believe that was
And
handled
I think we should have
correctly.
a bigger group involved. You mentioned there were 20 people there, that's a small group for that kind of money. I mean, I'm in favor also of the veterans, something, but I just oppose that section, that parcel because of the size of it.
Well, I'll be clear, there was only that many people at the Legion meeting, but the survey was sent out to,
Yeah.
I think there was over 1,000 that it was sent out to. So we're trying to get people involved, but you can't make people do anything. It's not the Berkey. We can't make people
Yeah.
be a part of it. So, trying our best but what they had said was that more of a tribute space instead of a picnic, because it has to be low maintenance, so all these things that have been thought about, just like, any other decision, they have been thought through. So I think just giving the okay to revisit at least that site and say, hey, what can we do? And we have the blessing of the veterans that were there.
Perhaps it would be nice to have a rough draft drawn out of what we perspective. I
Perfect.
think we should see that.
That'd be great.
So why don't we try to do that? Come back next month and if you want to communicate with the owners and see if they're willing to move on the price a little bit, then we could put that on the agenda also and see where we're at.
And were there any other spots besides this place that was looked at? I can't believe this is the only spot in Sawyer County where it's
Well,
viable.
that's what we're open for, is looking for ideas. This is one idea. If someone else brought
Yeah.
another perspective spot, they're welcome to bring it to the committee.
And nobody has. I mean, I think there's been, discussion of that lot next to the Veterans Service Office now, but that's on almost 200,000 just for the lot, and then you wouldn't be able to build anything there. So I think that there's a lot. That would be great, but what if we don't own that building anymore? Then what purpose would it serve to be next to that building? So I think that there's a lot of things at play. Since nothing else can be built at that building, I think it's ideal for the community because it would serve its purpose well and not take a huge lot off of the tax roll for the city of Hayward either. So, there's a lot of factors in play and I understand completely. I'm just asking for permission for us to just move forward with revisiting that because that seems like it has gained the most gusto. And not everybody is going to agree with me. Not everybody agrees on anything that we do, but I think at least revisiting that idea would be great. And I can come up with what it would look like. That'd be no problem at all. I have that from last time, but I can make it cleaner.
Question is, the vet center that's there presently, do they own that or who owns it?
The vet center on the other opposite corner, they own that. They paid off their mortgage a few years ago. It's at the opposite corner, but they have a land lease with the city for 100 years. So the city owns the lot that it's on. So if the Veteran Center goes under, then the city at least recoups that location. So and that's something we could work in with the city as well. I don't know how that works. That's why I'm trusting people smarter than me.
You know, we have to try to gain all the information we can.
Thank you.
That's where that, you know, a draft of what you're asking to, what it's gonna look like to put it there. I think before, not everybody got to see that. I know you had something.
Yeah.
And I looked at it. It was nice. And I'm also wondering, we were offered that on by the town of Hayward. Has anybody ever looked at that?
Yes, I drove by there.
I haven't myself, so.
Well, the uncertainty with the town of Hayward is that they're planning a remodel and they don't know what that looks like yet. So what if we put that there and then the designer said, why did you put that there? And they have to take it away. So I don't want to use money and then have them have to remove it. So they might want to do their own thing down the road with that building plan. But I think right now, without having a building plan, it would be not very responsible for them or us to put it there. Yeah.
Because I can say I've never heard any more about that from the town of Hayward side of that, but,
But if we enter the town of Hayward, you'd have to have an easement, a permanent easement, so they can't change their minds the next week or whatever they're gonna build. But how much land do they have out there?
So that was presented by Mr. Kurzweil, and that was not approved by the full board to
Yeah.
present to us. So I don't think that that's something we can move forward with. He's not the chair any longer.
But we look at it. We can look at these spots. I mean, we just don't,
Yes.
we can't just focus on one area. And that's the only choice in Sawyer County. I mean, let's see what Sawyer, I mean, I don't know who the new administration is out in the town of Hayward.
John Fromel is the new chair.
Yeah,
Yep.
somebody should talk to him and see whether they're willing to commit.
Yeah. You want to do that?
I can, well, I think we're asking for one thing first and then, so I'll make the motion to move forward with Mr. Markren, revisiting that location.
Well, are we gonna ask Mr. Marquand to negotiate a price before we agree on the parcel? I mean, it seems we're getting the horse before the cart, or the cart before the horse.
That's what we did before. I mean,
I know, but
that's-
to negotiate a price, when we haven't agreed on it, it's,
I think we have to have something to present to the board to agree on.
but not the price. I mean, there should be more important is the use of the land and the location.
Would you like me to make an inquiry to see if that's even on the table? Like if they don't move from the price, is that still something you'd want to dig into?
Listen, so it's a matter of. I don't know.
There's a realtor sign on it?
Yeah, I don't know what program.
I know, well, Jerry.
I guess I kind of agree with Mr. Duffy. I would like to see a purchase price for that before we make a motion to, you know, revisit that. We can revisit it because we keep it on the agenda all the time. So if he can do that and bring it back to our next admin meeting, I would think that would be fine. But that's just me, so.
Okay. Well, Stacy attempted to make a motion. I don't think we need a motion for this. We're just asking him to do that. And then you bring the diagrams in, we'll share that next month. We'll look at them and see what we want to do with that. And perhaps some other property is available that we're unaware of, so certainly keep your eyes out, open for something there. Okay? Thank you. Now, moving on to HR. Number 11, Human Resources Report. Ms. Lily,
Good morning.
morning.
You have my report. We've been very busy hiring lots of good people, so that's encouraging. And we have 3 people starting in June. Been doing some work with maintenance, doing some work with various other people. And I'm organizing Administrator Alvarado's emails and other things for the next administrator. So that's just been taking a lot of time. That's all I have unless you have questions.
Thank you for all you do over there.
Thank you, Rose.
All right, so. Next item is number 12. We're going to go into closed session, discussion of possible action considering of the motion to convey into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.851G, conferring with legal counsel for governmental bodies who render or oral or written advice concerning strategies to adopt the body with respect to litigation which is likely to become over involved. This committee will reconvene in the open session immediately following the closed session and may have discussion and take official action on the matter in closed session.
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to go into closed session.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Mr. Buckles, second by Ms. Hessel to go into closed session. We need a roll call vote.
Ron Kinsley,
Yes.
Ron Buckles,
Yes.
Go out the door, but have to come back in.
there's a trash can blocking it.
Yeah. They asked us to do it, so I was assuming you have to.
I think it's tight against the door.
I'll start over. This is roll call vote to go into closed session. Ron Kinsley,
Yes.
Ron Buckholz.
Yes.
Tom Duffy. John Regheimer is excused. Stacy Hessel. Motion carried.
Okay, we're in closed session. Okay, we're back into open session. And
Chair, I will make a motion to direct Mike Markran, acting co-administrator, to move forward with actions of the closed session.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
so we have a motion by Ms. Hessel, second by Mr. Buckles to move forward with procedure. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 13, interim county administrator report.
All right, well, thank you. I don't have a lot to say because it's only been 2 weeks, but I do want to thank all the department heads and the committee chairs for helping as these last 2 weeks. A lot of committee meetings, and we're all learning as we go. Can't say everything's gone smoothly, but we've gotten through everything. I guess you all heard this, but I'm working on that with PMA on the note issue for the issuance for the communications note. And like I said, in finance, that we'll have a resolution in June to approve it, and then we will approve the actual issue in July. Last week, I met with John Frummel after his committee hearing. Sounded like he was having trouble producing his report, so I just wanted to offer some help. And it is a struggle because I got over there and he couldn't even log into a system. It's very antiquated and he had to call tech support to even get in. The good news is when he gets in, it's a CSV file, which I can dump into Excel and help him with formulas and different things, which he's already pretty good at. But the hope is to make his reporting a little easier. He said it takes him about 3 days to do his committee report, and that's just too much. So we'll see what we can do there. And then Tuesday, I went out and met with Derek. Originally, we were going to have our kickoff meeting for the runway project. The state couldn't be there, so that's getting pushed off to next week. But I just wanted to go out anyhow and just have a chat with him and look around the airport. And we did look at some of the deferred maintenance that we've kind of not done over the years. And since we will have some money through this project with the payback on the pavement, we can maybe knock out a couple things that are more pressing. I attended the Joint Finance Committee hearing for a little bit, about an hour and a half, came back to the office and then did turn it on. Lots of requests. It's a long day for those people, but it's good stuff. The morning was a lot of schools and a lot of mental health, a lot of special ed needs for schools. I know John Pino did get to speak later in the day along with 3 other highway supervisors, so that was good. I did reach out to Rebecca regarding the Land, Water, and Forest Committee meetings request to see our risk for that proposed trail that is stating they have ADA, not compliance, but access. So I want to see where our risk is there since it's on county property. Have not heard back yet, but we'll get that. And then just gearing up for budget season too. It's coming upon us, hard to believe, but here we are. Right now I'm working on for highway and HHS since they've had some turnover with their finance people. Last year I built them each a budget model to help them out with their budgeting. I've got to update it now, move everything over, put the new year in. So I'm kind of working on that. Takes a little longer than you think because the HHS has about 50 different tabs that all feed into one because they have so many units within HHS. That's all I've got unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you for sharing. Number 14, resolution to add defendant to opioid delegation. You want to give a little background?
Sure. So what this resolution is, it's part of what the county signed up for last fall with yet another litigation with the pharmaceuticals, where they sell the stuff. This resolution itself is adding some defendants to the lawsuit, kind of to cover some of the open records requests that some of the pharmaceuticals had put forward. So that's what this is for. It's recommended by Andy Phillips. He put it out to all of the counties.
Have you had a chance to read it? Ms. Tess?
I was just going to make a motion to, if we needed a motion to bring it to the full board, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Ms. Hessel, second by Mr. Buckles to approve and forward to the full board for the next meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Board appointment committee update. Anybody have anything that other committees that they've attended that they want to share this time?
I don't have none.
Okay. Correspondence, reports, and conferences. Now, tomorrow we have a meeting to review the applicants for administrator. So we have some stuff to hand out that is for closed session, but we can't read it all in 15 minutes. So we've talked a little bit and we're going to hand it out tonight, knowing it's closed session stuff. So you bring tomorrow, because there's no way you're gonna read the stack of paperwork in 15 minutes tomorrow morning when you come in. So you're gonna have to take time to read this stuff. Also, I would like to ask, I would like some of the department heads in on this interviewing. And I have 3 department heads I would like to ask for the approval of Mr. Tim Hagberg, Mr. Doug Mirotek, and Health and Human Services, Julie. I'd like them to have their input for us to help us get through this. And all I need you to do is to agree or disagree.
Is that common? I mean, is that what we've done before? Okay. Okay.
Thank you. So that's what we'll do. We use them 3 plus our full committee. Mr. Righeimer said we'll be back tomorrow. Anybody else have anything? So a review, we'll also have after this, when we select tomorrow, the next meeting would be for that hiring would be the 19th and 20th of this month. Anybody else have anything else? Hearing none, Meeting adjourned. Thank you for your valuable time.